Price is going to do the sensible thing. He kicks it high into the goal square. They fly down to the ground. It comes. Kick off the ground here by McKenna.
I fell in love with the club at a very early age. I was a 5-year-old in grade prep in Broady. There weren't so many Collingwood supporters, I don't think, out there in those days, but I just fell in love with Peter McKenna.
Great understanding. Down towards the mighty Peter McKenna. It's only about 30 yards out directly in front, and there is...
I just fell in love with the whole thing and the excitement that seemed to go with it all the time. The first time I ever went to Victoria Park, when, you know, getting on the train at Broady and catching it out to Victoria Park, and thought I had to get off at Collingwood Station, and couldn't believe that we actually had a station called Victoria Park, and walking over the footbridge as a little boy holding my dad's hand and seeing the black and white stripes on the stand, I just couldn't believe it. It was for the first time in my life I really felt like I was part of a community, and it really resonated with me. It was just great. It was Boys Own Annual. It was just the biggest thing in my life, and it has been that ever since. As silly as this sounds, we did a renovation recently, and they all barracked for Collingwood, all the tradies. They're the ones who got the gig. Yeah, I warm to people when they say, I know how stupid this sounds, but when somebody says, oh, I barracked for the Pies, oh, really good on you, mate. And you instantly warm to people like that. I do. I love the culture of the club. I love what it stands for. And I know that what I'm saying resonates with so many other people. As a reporter, you know, I probably got as close as you could possibly get at that stage. And it was amazing to get close to the club and then get to know the people involved and to be involved in so many stories. You know, I got the exclusive interview with Lee Matthews when he was appointed at Collingwood. I got that vision out at quarter time, his first ever address.
This is where it's hard. This is when your legs ache, and however you're feeling, they're aching just as much. We've got a bit of faith. They're wondering, can we pick them up?
It was a time of my life. I was 24, 25 years of age, so I was right in the club. And to be there in 1990, I mean, yeah, it's well documented. When you see Lee come down, that I'm on the ground, I just let go. Got all the interviews and was on stage with the boys that night, shooting it from the side. It just fueled my love for the club and what it meant. They used to joke at Channel 10, you know, they wouldn't get any work out of me after 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon if the Pies got rolled, but that was it. I mean, I was passionate, but at the same time, you've got to be professional. How did it develop? Well, really, there was no one stepping forward. It was one of those ones. I sometimes look back and I think maybe I was the bloke who didn't move and everyone took the step back and I was left out the front, because it wasn't at any stage in my my business plan as far as what I was doing as a television personality. I think back now, I think, God, I was 33 years of age when all this was going on. You know, what was I thinking? And you know, and there were times in the first 12 months where I thought, geez, maybe I am just a footy show host here and I've bitten off more than I could chew. Well, it's a tremendous honour, Matt, and terribly humbling, to be honest. But it is day one and the job is ahead of us, and it's a big job, a tremendous challenge, one that I'm looking forward to with relish with the rest of the board. But yeah, we have got a lot of work to do, and it starts now. As it turned out, you know, at some stage, I thought I was the man for the job, and others agreed, and the members agreed, and away we went. And you know, it's just been an enormous part of my life, and I look back on it now. It's been a fair bit of my life. It's over a quarter of my life. So it was amazing times.
One last clearance, one last chance. Can somebody get a clear ball here and kick it long and hard? Goddard, the tap. Del Santo, it's going to be a draw. It's unbelievable. But it's happened.
In 2010, after the draw, you know, I went back on my knowledge of the game and knowledge of history to 1977 and how Collingwood mucked it up and North Melbourne got it right. You see the shot of me talking to Mick Malthouse and David Butterfield. and also to Nick Maxwell. And at that stage, you know, we'd just been told that there'd been a flood on one side of the ground, we had to go to the other and all the rest of it. And my job then was to be the cool head. These guys have just been in the heat of battle. So that's where you come into it and you say, right, OK, take a deep breath, Mick, you do your media conference, let's all convene, but I think we should go to the dinner tonight. And a few others said, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't. I said, well, OK, just have a think, because at the moment, I think we're going to go to the dinner tonight. We did all the logistics. We realised that if we went there that night, we'd have everybody in one spot, all the parents, all the friends. We could work out the ticketing. We were doing deals with the AFL right from the moment the siren went right the way through, so we could tell people what was going on. We had to eat anyway, and the worst thing is, if you are scattered around the place, people get on Twitter, texting, and the mind goes. So we were able to get everybody together, get the disappointment out, get the mind focused. So by the time we went home at 10 o'clock that night, all these things were done. So that's what you do. You've got to be on top of those things and be able to read the play and be ready to go. Have the contingency plan ready, win, lose or draw.
Well, we know who's going to get their hands all around that in the next 15 minutes.
Without doubt, the 2010 Grand Final was one of the greatest moments, if not the greatest moment of my life. And I just sat there, and with 10 minutes to go, I turned to my wife and my two kids and I said, enjoy the next 10 minutes. We're home. And Carla said, don't say. I said, we're home. We're not going to get beaten from here. Mind you, I'd counted to make sure we didn't have 19 men on the field at that stage in case something would happen. But I said, enjoy the next 10 minutes, because these are going to be the most satisfying 10 minutes and most peaceful 10 minutes of our life. We've won the premiership. There's 10 minutes to go. Everyone's happy. Everyone's beside themselves. The feeling was there. The feeling of satisfaction. It's the most amazing thing that you can have in your life. And, you know, I'll take that to the grave.
So Collingwood win by their greatest ever margin in a grand final. It doesn't get better than that.
On that day for me, you know, a lot of things came together for me. My boyhood idol, Peter McKenna, the reason why I was a Collingwood supporter, handed the cup to Mick Malthouse and to Nick Maxwell, and they turned around to the Collingwood supporters, full in our social club at the MCG, and held the Premiership Cup up. And for me, that was it. I had my two boys with me and my wife who've been through the journey. They didn't sign up for it, but they've been right through it. And everyone, and just the unbridled joy.
There's a magpie, there's a good sign, there's a magpie in the first jumper. I always looked at and hoped that when I drive around here coming into Punt Road, the first jumper I see is a Collingwood jumper, and it was a couple having a kick out there on our ground at Gosh's paddock, so that's a good sign. Big swooping magpie and a couple of magpie jumpers just to start, so we're off to a good start. This is my side, this is what I love. See this person here? The father and his son, go on here mate, cheers buddy. His father and his son going to the footy. And that was what I was like as a little boy, and that just gladdens my heart to see the father and his son. They've got all the Collingwood gear on, they've got the Collingwood jumpers, and they're going off to the footy to have a special night together on the eve of Father's Day. It's amazing coming in here now. When I was a kid, of course, the southern stand used to be set back in a bit there, so you used to come up from Richmond Station, walk along and walk in, and you just see the MCG and the lines. These days, of course, completely different. Apart from the fact I'm not coming in by train from Broadmeadows. It's a bit different. Go, boys. Get the camera on this. Here's the umpires. What do you reckon? I go after them? It's very tempting, guys. Very tempting. Hi, Chelsea. How are you? I'll trust the binoculars. All right, let's go.
Well, you know, I think I'm getting worse. You know, as a kid, I used to, you know, have my scarf and my football jumper folded at the end of my bed, and you'd be that revved up and couldn't sleep, and the excitement. These days, there's no doubt on a big game, I get up, and you know, I'm testy. Carla and the boys know to sort of give me a little bit of space, and you can't help but just get fired up thinking about the game and the repercussions. And as president, you're looking for every bit of advantage that you can add. And all I try to do from that stage is I ask the coach, the football director, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And back them in 100%. You know, offer advice if it's there, if it needs to be given, or if it's asked for. But by and large, if you've got to the finals, then the boys and the administration have done the job. And from there, you just want to make sure that you can get things right.
Good stuff.
You'll never see Carla or myself sell a magazine story, but one thing we refuse to do is live in a bubble. And my two boys, people have probably watched them grow up sitting next to me at the footy, and they're like anyone, they want to sit with their dad at the footy. And you know, we changed the rules to let kids sit in that sort of official enclosure, because to be perfectly honest, if I couldn't do it, I wouldn't do the job. I wouldn't stay on as president. I want to be with my kids. I want to go to the footy with my kids. Boys walk out the tunnel and run through the banner and the crowd's there and we're ready for action. It's amazing. You can't help but feel the privilege of being involved in the Collingwood Football Club.
They made no mistake. This is massive for Collingwood. They've got to win to get a top 4 spot on the ladder. Sets up a game against Hawthorn. In towards Cloak, gets rid of one and he takes the mark. Gee, I tell you what, that'll bring delight to Collingwood fans.
Come on, big fella, put it through.
Travis Cloak directly in front, and they get one back, the Pies. Handball out for Solo, and his left side needs to bounce. It does.
Go! Yes!
Yeah, I jump up and down every now and again because it's my release. And I love getting involved in it and teaching my boys the tactics and what's going on. And I immerse myself.
Come on, boys, let's get going.
Stoppage work here. Swan. Trick Melksham into going wide. Long and direct. Cloak's got the body position and gets over the top.
To go!
For Solo, lays on and finds Cracker, and Cracker will get an easy look.
Everything he's done has been fantastic tonight, Andrew Cracker. Come on, he deserves a goal here. Come on, Andy, put it through.
So in 6 months with a knee reconstruction, let's hope he gets a goal. Unbelievable. This will be his first goal of the year in his first game of the year. Watch them get to Andrew Cracker.
That's how you play. See what happens when you just get your head over the ball. Look at that.
Unbelievable comeback. So the Pies here, desperately trying to get a score. Cloak, can he hang on to it? The umpire's paid it.
Now put it through, Clokey. Kick your fifth and put us in full spot. Come on.
For his 5th goal and a 21-point Magpie lead, and he's done it, the big man. Gary O'Brien saying, I want an opportunity to score here.
Perry will kick this.
Just kicked the 1 goal this year in his 21 games. It's online, it's all about journey, distance, got it. Yeah!
I defy anybody who has got any amount of adrenaline in their body or has got any passion in their soul to not get caught up. And, you know, I think it's great to release it and enjoy it.
That's right, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
They'll take on Hawthorn next weekend. They will be ecstatic about that.
You know, as much as I ever give to Collingwood, I'll never give enough to repay the love and the satisfaction and the feeling of community that this football club has filled my heart with from the time I was a 5-year-old boy to this very day.
G'day and welcome to Vintage Collingwood, brought to you by Get Wines Direct. Well, today I'm going to meet up with one of Collingwood's greatest sons. This man could bring the crowd to their feet every time he played here at Victoria Park. It's the Macedonian marvel, Peter Daicos. Daicos, great to see you, son.
Shorey, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, hasn't this changed from the old days?
Oh, it looks fantastic as a public venue these days.
Well, mate, let's have a walk through because I want to catch up and ask you some of the old days and what happened and when you used to take this by yourself. This was your ground, wasn't it?
Here's a chance for a score. Mr. Magic shoots it goal. I think it's there. First goal for the Magpies.
Well, those over-the-end goals that you used to kick. And look, I remember running lap after lap of training with you, and you just do it from the pocket like it was just shelling peas.
Well, it all gets back to touch, and I've always said, and I think it really goes back to when I was a kid. And I know everyone will say, oh, we always had a ball in our hand. I mean, that was the case with myself. I always had a football in my hand, and it was a real extension of me. So it was second nature. I didn't have to think about what I needed to do. And in a game situation, I always say to youngsters these days, we can personalise our kicking. I can show you how to hold it and how many steps to take. But the one thing I can't tell you is how hard to kick it. You have to feel that. So I love that experiment, playtime as I'd call it, where it wasn't structured training, where you could, dribble it and lip it into the bin, that type of thing. So I think for me, it was a touch thing that had been developed over a long, long time.
And they might make it 6 now from the boundary line. Loves them from there.
The club tried to trade you to North Melbourne. What happened there?
Well, Lee Matthews had taken over, and I'd done my knee in '85. Then I did my knee again with the patella in '86, and I couldn't train, I couldn't play. I was put on the retired list. And then there was talk of me being swapped to North Melbourne. Thankfully, that didn't come about. Lee Matthews still says to this day he's the one that derailed it, but I don't know if that's the case. But look, in the end, I was just quite fortunate. I was given the opportunity to get myself right. I had an op and rested up and, got myself back in '88. Just 1990, what did it really mean to Peter Daicos, just the grand final itself? Well, I think thinking back over my career now, I think as a team achievement, it goes without saying. I mean, it's one that I always regurgitate and think about. It's something that comes up even now. I mean, we're talking about something that happened 22 years ago, and realisation has hit home that people don't forget about that team achievement.
Talk about that grand final. We needed a goal, but that first goal sort of got us up and going. From where you kicked it, I just couldn't believe it. But what were you thinking? You knew that you had control of that situation? I was quite relaxed at having a ping, and I'd probably earned the licence a little bit. But, if I had to do that again, I'd probably kick 1 out of 10. It's just one of those, Shorey, that just happened to, go through it. Quite honestly, it looked like it was going to miss, and I think there was a bit of divine intervention, and she swung back into play. Was there one goal you thought, oh, gee, you can't get any better than that? There was a goal, 81 against Geelong in a prelim final where I marked it and handballed past Nankervis. Gee, we got that on tape. You handballing? You handballed to yourself?
Yeah, I copped a knock in the head a little bit earlier, so I was a bit delirious. That would be good. That would be good evidence. I keep copping that. I did handball.
Keep going. You did handball to yourself, though, did you?
That's right.
Now, there was one goal, the 1990 qualifying final, which we looked like we were down and dusted, and you kicked it from the pocket. Just take us through what happened in that. If you remember rightly, Pants came in and just absolutely skittled John Worsfold. Rowdy picks up the ball. As soon as I got that ball in my hands, I was going to back myself in to have a pot shot. So, as it turned out, I hit it so sweet. It went in, and that's why I say to people, it's just one of those that I got the technique right, but I got a little bit of luck on my side as well. The Collingwood Footy Club, can you put it into words what it means to Peter Daicos? It's my life. It still is my life. I've been out of the game 19 years now. I don't reckon 2 days go by that I don't think about the game, I was given a huge opportunity, something that I'd like to think I didn't take for granted. But again, Shorey, I think, to have done something in my life, and been given that opportunity by Collingwood to do something that I loved, sort of unconditionally was just,
fantastic. To this day, I can't thank the club enough.
Now, we've got a big function coming up for the Collingwood past players.
One of the things we want to try and do is get as many of the past players back to the club as possible. So it's all free for the past players. So make contact, go to our website, Collingwood Past Players, speak to Loretta, make contact, you'll get a free ticket. It's at the MCG, September 13th.
Mate, thanks for joining us on Vintage Collingwood. Thanks to Get Wines Direct. Now, for your trouble, we've got the President's Selection, mate. I know you like a drop of red. It is the best stuff of all time. So the President's Selection from Get Wines Direct. You're an out-and-out superstar, and let's hope those two boys come through and play for Collingwood. We'll love that.
Now, this is Salsey and Straubs. Good on you, boy. Now, there's 2 dozen there, Shuri. That's about 2 day supply.
I had to take that back down, mate. I've already taken 6 out.
Okay.
So the Collingwood Football Club's got a very exciting announcement this morning. We just completed a signing with Star Athletic to be the new supplier of our jumper and on-field apparel. 4 years ago we embarked on talking to manufacturers and suppliers, and ultimately Star Athletic were the organisation that we chose to partner with. The jumper's still going to be black and white stripes. It'll be the highest quality jumper in the AFL.
Design team have been here at Collingwood every single week presenting different fabrics, different samples, different cuts. We've taken feedback from the playing group, from the coaches, and we've looked at what football is all about, and football's quite a unique sport, and we believe we have produced the best football jumper made for football that there is today.
We'll be experimenting with a hot weather jumper, a cold weather jumper, wet weather jumper, maybe even jumpers for different positions. So in some positions you want a really tight jumper that doesn't stretch and is hard to tackle. Other positions you might want it to be a bit more stretchy. So these are all things that we'll experiment ongoing, but there's no doubt that eventually this jumper will be a competitive advantage. We want every Collingwood supporter, every Collingwood member to be wearing a Collingwood jumper, and it's something that quite often, especially with the kids, you need to buy every few years, and we want to make sure that it's at a competitive price so our supporters can actually buy the jumpers. Another really important element of this agreement is the fact that Adidas, who have been with the Collingwood Football Club for the last 14 years, will remain as a sponsor and a supplier. So the players will continue to wear the boots and runners from Adidas. They've been a great partner, and we're really excited about continuing that partnership, hopefully for another 14 years. Thanks, mate. Thanks for all the effort.
Really nice.
Oh, it's looking good too.
Oh,
yeah. What's that, Mum? Something's sticking out.
That's my pec. There. Oh,
is that what you call it, Daisy?
The pec deck's got the workout, hasn't it? Looking good.
Now, Dale, I need to work on my glutes, my abs, my clacks and my dwarfs. Have you got something like a ski time buttock and thigh toner that can help me out there?
Here we have our STB TT, skin time buttock and tie toner, or whatever you called it. Is that close?
You're up with it. You're with the lingo, Dale. I'm very impressed.
They'll take on Hawthorn next weekend. They will be ecstatic about that.
We've kind of been inconsistent with our form this year. I feel like when we've played a really good game, we've dropped off the next week, and I think that if we can get that build up and then kind of get that consistency going, then we'll be really strong in these next few finals games.
You know, we were able to implement some things that we wanted to, and we still didn't do those the way we fully wanted to, but it was good, and it was also good to see, you know, Trav take some really good marks and kick some goals for us, because he's a very important player for us, and you know, to see him do that will give him great confidence, you know, hopefully going into this Friday night.
Obviously the last couple of weeks where we've gone down by a little bit to better opposition that played better on the night, and then coming into this game we really wanted to finish on a high, especially at the end of the season coming into finals. And we did that, and we won that game, and we're up and about, and we're ready to hit finals.
I think finals, you know, brings out, you know, that sort of bubbly side in people, and it's a great time of year. The weather's just starting to change and the sun's starting to come out, so it's definitely a time of year that every footballer wants to be a part of.
When we play at our best, I don't think there's any teams that can kind of keep up with us. It's just a matter of making sure that we're doing those things well and making sure we are playing at our best when we take them on.
We don't want to be playing our best footy during the season. We want to play our best footy in the final. So if we can take another step forward this week and start playing better footy, then hopefully we'll be right against the Hawks this week.
The 2 times we've played them this year, they've spanked us really in all facets of the game. So it's definitely something that we're all looking forward to, and it's a challenge that we've seen this year. We've had some challenging games, and it's tended to bring the best out of us, and we've got some really good wins. So we're hoping that can be another win for us on Friday night.